So it was just about this time last year that Discmania came out with one of their best releases. Maybe because Simon Lizotte was still on the team? Because they released the Sky God 4. But now that Simon is on Team MVP, I feel like Discmania wants to put out another Sky God, but they obviously can't use that name, so they put out these two discs. This is the new S-Line P2, which just came out. If you guys know me, I got baby hands. This is a little bit big for my hands, but this is kind of a little bit more under the radar, probably because the Discmania Open is still coming up in about a month, but this is the Color Glow P2, which feels a lot more similar to the C-Line and is also pink, which is the color of my Sky God 4, which I played this course with, shot 12 down with an ace the first time that I ever threw it last year. Now, to be honest with you, I don't have my Sky God anymore, but what I do throw in this slot, which from my understanding is stable, like pretty overstable. And I throw right now an Envy. So we're gonna bring out this Fission Envy. I don't quite remember if I've done Johnny Putter reviews for the Envy before, but right now these are the top 5 on the leaderboard of this series where we have to throw and putt with all one disc for 18 holes at Johnny Roberts, which is America's most popular disc golf course. So of course we want to see how these compare to each other, but today I want to answer the question, which of these is the Sky God 5? All right, hole 1 is only 153, straight ahead of us there. Gonna start with the Envy as a baseline. Stay up, because I know how this flies. Pretty overstable. Need to get it to flex to just go flat. I really don't think there's gonna be any difference between these two, but we'll see. Color Glow first. This reminds me a little bit more of the Sky God, just because I had a pink one. I think I did it. No, it didn't swing back enough. Someone told me this is supposed to be less stable. Kind of don't believe it though. A lot of their S-Line stuff's been coming out stable. At least their mid-ranges. Stay up. Oh my gosh, never mind. One of the things that I do find super intriguing is it does seem like that Envy is a good comparison. It's definitely a 3-speed compared to a 2-speed. The profiles are a little bit different and we'll get to that on the next hole, but I'm interested to see like in high speed, like if I throw them far, is the Envy gonna push a lot farther or will the P2 have enough glide? Obviously, flight numbers aren't 100% accurate, but the ones that really feel like a 3-speed to me are driving putters, whereas 2-speeds feel more like approach putters. But I also only bag 3-speed putters and I use them as my approach putters and my driving putters. So that theory is kind of a little stupid based on my own bag. Real quick before hole 2, here are the quick differences. Obviously, these guys, they're identical. I mean, they're the same disc, just in different plastics. I don't really feel any major differences. I don't know, the S-Line has a little more play than the Color Glow, but not a lot because it is a pretty gummy, like C-Line Champion-esque. The difference between these guys, this looks a little more round on top. This is a little more aggressive bevel, it would seem. So, all right, solid start frame, hole 2. All the perfect rounds are still intact, straight ahead of us there. I think these I'm gonna try to throw flat. Very glidey. It was pretty flat. When I throw flat and I try that hard, I down tempo and then it goes nose up, so. Oh no. That was so early. Oh gosh. Oh gosh, sit down. That might be in the water. What am I doing with my life? Okay, now you see why I throw everything either 10 degrees hyzer or 10 degrees Annie, because flat and me, we've never met, honestly. Stay up. Oh, well, Emmy's taking the lead, I guess. This is kind of like a perfect putter shot for me. It's 273, not a low ceiling, but not unlimited ceiling. I like just a touch of flex out of the hand and let it work back left with enough height. I also am definitely kind of sneaking in some Envy practice by shooting this video because I think this is the one I'm gonna bag just because I love the cotton candy coloring, and the Fission one's also very stable and I need a lot of work with it because I don't throw it very well sometimes. Wow, so, I mean, I shanked that a little, not a lot. I just like missed my line by about 20 feet to the right, but it still got back. I feel like this one, I have to put more spin on it. I think that's the difference between the 2 and the 3-speed. I think that's gonna be a little short, but not by a lot. Spinning it out instead of like throwing my body at it. That's how I focus on that. But these are so deep that with my little baby hand, it takes a lot of extra intentionality. That's great. Wow. I think it's pretty stable. It reminds me of a slower Envy, which I really like. If you've never really understood when like people like me talk about it just being slower or faster, it more so has to do with how quickly it gets a certain distance. Because of how blunt the disc's edge is, it's gonna slow it down because of air resistance, whatever. I'm not a physicist. The Envy is going to get there in a faster time than the P2s. Because they're traveling slower, it doesn't mean they won't go quite as far, especially if you spin them. I mean, it kind of does. That's why faster speed discs go farther, but not at like a 2 to 3 speed difference. You're not gonna see that. But speed control is a little bit easier if I can just focus on spinning something like this P2, which I know is gonna take a little bit longer to get to the basket. For some reason, for me, it feels like speed control is easier because of that. I don't know if speed control is actually easier because of that, but it feels like it for me. Let's go, that's a great putt. What? Well, all tied up. If I shoot 17 down with this thing, we're gonna have some problems. Color Glow P2, we're gonna go forehand at it. See how these hold some torque. Oh my gosh, it holds it, but when you throw it on hyzer, instead of actually flicking your wrist. Shoot, okay, teach you a moment, when you lean over and you don't bring your torso forward, you're gonna throw it on hyzer early, every time. And I know that, but I still don't do it. There we go. Drop. Thought that was going in the basket. Nice. Stay up. Part of me wants to like allow myself to start putting with my putters on these videos, but from the beginning, even with the Zone OS, which has the record, I putted with the discs that I've been throwing, so I should probably grab the S-Line P2. And this basket, you're barely gonna be able to see straight through there from that tee pad. No. That's pretty solid too. We might have just taken a bogey with that Color Glow one. Well, that's kind of a crazy shot. Okay, not bad. I know, compared to a lot of you guys, this is not hot, but 95. So, I'm not playing the best, that's why. Birdie with the Envy, birdie with the S-Line, easy par. I'm gonna be honest, I don't think I'm gonna keep very good track of the score this round, and you guys will know on the screen. Also, my camera has not overheated since it's got pretty good heat temperature settings, but today's the day I'm a little worried about it. S-Line P2 has the box. I think we're gonna try to just pump a turnover all the way down there. That's so low and bad. It'll be a long look. Throw out. I think I'm over rotating because I'm so tired. I'm not letting my body brace very well. There it is. Much better. Crazy what bracing will do. And Color Glow. Get stable, go in. They're definitely slower. I feel like slightly less torque resistant. That Envy seems to really like a lot of power, whereas those P2s, it's hard for me to say because if you're like me, smaller, it's gonna be a little bit less torque resistant, I think, because it's so much harder to get no off-axis torque when your grip is terrible on the disc. The Envy, because it fits in my hand comfortably, much more so compared to the P2s, it's so much easier for me to get a really clean release with that and have a lot less off-axis torque, which I think affects how much torque resistance goes into the disc. Oh, I thought I did it. It's crazy how much like 2 millimeters difference on the bottom side feels like significantly more comfortable. The crazy thing is though, I can feel that like if I had bigger hands, this would feel like such a comfortable disc, but like literally my finger isn't even getting to the bottom, whereas I wanna like hook it around there. Another great one to ace, 183, straight ahead there. Envy has the birdie streak now. Drop, 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 drop. C-Line P2, or Color Glow, whoops, not a Sky God. Yeah, it's just slower. Like I feel like that power with the Envy would go slightly farther. Out of my hand, I was like, oh, ace run, but then I remembered it was a P2 and it was going pretty slow. That could do it. Oh, that's so close. Start frame. That's like so much nose up with the flex. Gross. Okay, the point of that was to have it stay closer, not go forever. In the basket. Drop. Oh, it's so far. Oh, I thought I missed it. Yes, let's go. Come on. I really hope this is in frame, but it's way too hot for me to go reposition. So if it's not, and I make it, I cheated. I'm a big time cheater. I'll tell you what, so far, initial impressions are that this disc gives me the Sky God feel, but I'm throwing this one better. I feel like I like the plastic more, and the flight is more like what I remember the Sky God to be. Like if I was to choose one, it would be the S-Line. But this one gives me Sky God vibes, just like looking at it. I don't know. But we all know this is the real Sky God, which begs an interesting question. Simon Lizotte went to MVP after throwing, obviously his signature disc was the C-Line P2, the Sky God 4. But he doesn't throw the Envy, he only throws the Proxy. And I'm wondering if that's because he didn't feel like Discmania had a good Proxy equivalent. And he was like kind of forced to throw semi-flex shots. And Simon prefers like a more neutral flight like the proxy. It's kind of interesting. I don't know. At 240 to the basket, straight ahead. Pop a flex out of the hand, not a lot. That's so high. AKA so perfect. I don't know what I was complaining about. What am I talking? That's the route. You just go through the trees, because trees are mostly air. What am I thinking? What a silly guy. Those things are real stable. Hit off that and go towards the basket. Oh no. Go in the basket. It's so stable. What the heck? Like, I think that's more than my Envy. It reminds me of the finish line pace, which I know Apollo Disc Golf made a video about the pace being similar to a Sky God. And I almost brought one out to compare it, but it was so hot and I was like, I cannot be throwing more discs. Luckily, they're all still inside the circle. Not convincing putts, but they're in. I think we're pretty good through 9. Not great, but I feel like at least one of these is on track to be in the top 5, maybe all of them.
So I'm gonna be honest, I have absolutely no idea what happened here, but my mic just died at this point. We will get it back in a couple holes. Nothing changed, didn't bump anything on the receiver, didn't bump anything on the mic. But we're throwing hole 10 here underneath this branch, just trying to throw them on some pretty stable flex lines. The Envy, I get out pretty good. Thought it was honestly perfect, but this is where the fissionness of this Envy I think is starting to show itself, where it's got a little bit of extra glide and push in the mid-flight, where I'd expect it to hook up a little, but it just kind of stays a little straighter than I'd like. The Color Glow P2 is really solid out of the hand, a little bit inside, if anything, of my line, but still skirts right past the basket, which I'm super stoked on. And then the S-Line P2 out of my hand, I did say it at the moment, but didn't get recorded, obviously. I really thought that it was going to be perfect, and then it just got a little more stable. And so I'm starting to think that the more I throw it, the S-Line is a little more stable than the Color Glow P2. Tap in some birdies and a little bit of a par and move on to hole number 11. So I decided to throw some forehands again. We're just going to let these play out real fast. Throw a little bit of beautiful music under it, because these are some pretty solid forehands, especially after totally fluffing all the first ones.
So I don't know how many holes ago this was, but I hope you enjoyed that voiceover. I really hope it wasn't long, because this just died. I think it overheated because it's got plenty of battery. Clouds are finally starting to come out. Hopefully we can make these putts continue playing pretty well, despite feeling like I'm gonna die. These were great, man. Definitely forehandable if you remember to like get your body involved. One of the things that Yuli talks about that helps with that is leading with the hands. Because when you're throwing a distance forehand, you kind of lead with the elbow a little bit more. Lead with the elbow, it snaps out. But when you're throwing a touchier forehand, he was talking about this with Culver Dallin in their practice round. If you lead with the fingers, where those come forward first, it brings everything else around, you just gotta snap it. Like this is only 200 feet or something, like 150 feet. I'm not throwing it super far or hard, so I really don't need all the extra power. You lose some power, but you gain a lot of accuracy. Hopefully, as you just saw, shout out Yuli. Also, shout out for 4th place last week, let's go. Super straight, like 130 feet. Better height, a little more Annie. Stop liking trees. No, man. The wind is picking up and that got so far in my head, it's not even funny. Lefty birdie with the Envy. I'm glad the Envy's winning, you know? It's always good to win with the disc that like, at least I think it's winning, that you actually bag. Makes you feel better about your choices in life. Oh, that's a right to left. I like that spot in the fairway. You know, you always want to leave yourself 35 feet from the basket. That way, it's not a circle 1 putt. So when the wind's getting in your head, it doesn't count as a C1 putt. Your stats stay good. You still miss it, but feel better about yourself. You just have to forget the fact that this one, I did it very well on the other side. You just have to forget that it's a 200-foot straight hole that you're throwing, because then you'll feel really bad about yourself. All right, that was better than I thought it was gonna be off the tee. I feel like some decent putting, excluding the hole 3 with this guy, is saving like a relatively decent round. Good height, good height. Oh, what are you doing, buddy? Okay, that was a respectable run. Just a little too much flat to hyzer out of the hand. Why? I feel like some decent putting is saving like a relatively decent round. And that was a lazy, 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 lazy putt. I can't be saying stuff like I did on the tee out of the last hole about how my putting is so good and saving a good round and then doink a couple 20-footers. Oh, let's go. A little wider because it is not as stable. Drop. Oh, come on. No, dude. It's not that much more stable. That S-line is such a good disc, but for some reason I have it in my head as like 16 times more stable than the colorful one. And so I just burn it over every time. I need someone to smack me upside the head and tell me to stop being an idiot. No. What is going on? All right, basket is through these trees here. Tee pad is just like sunk. It's a great way to park it and be boring. Oh my gosh, I hit my chest. Pro tip, don't film 18 holes in 95-degree weather after already playing around. It'll be bad for you. Oh no, hit that tree. No, my first pro tip is the only pro tip in this video. Also, the even sadder thing is that's not even close to park, it's just super short. Please unsubscribe. Just wow. All right, 2 holes left. A very sad Anthony for missing that putt. Straight ahead, 243. Maybe any ace should negate it, I think. I think that should be the rule. Oh, come on. Oh, come on. Ah, P2. Okay, me and that disc, it's so stable and very good. We're just not getting along right now. That was hyzer. Do you think the more I've thrown these, the more I've realized that a lot of like the lack of stability or inconsistency that I feel is because of grip and the fact that they're just too big for my hands. I wonder if I could fan grip them if I knew how to fan grip. I really like these discs. They're just absolutely not for me. That just rolled away. You guys definitely need to unsubscribe at this point. If I make this, you guys can resubscribe, but as of right now, you better be unsubscribed. Okay, so don't unsubscribe if you haven't yet. You have to stay subscribed. Maybe you have to subscribe because I finally made a 20-footer and that's super impressive to do. Alrighty, last hole. Straight ahead, 245. Good run, just way long and high. Get stable. Can't say I didn't give it the height. And last but not least. Nope, me and that disc hate each other. I don't know why, because I really like the flight of it. I got eyes. Dang it. This birdie might be for top 5. Yes, it is. No, it's not. I'll choose one of those in the edit and play it right here. No, it's not. Made it at least. Let's go. Now hopefully we can make one last putt with that S-line guy. I gotta pick up my disc. Yeah, P2, yeah. Yeah, guy just picked up my disc and threw it. Well, I have no idea where it was. So we're just gonna play it from here. If there's people around, just ask whose disc stuff is. Come on, people. Can't believe I just picked up my disc and walked off with it. It's like, I was literally right here and he was right there putting. I don't know, man. That feels like common sense. Whew. So I definitely have to say, if you're looking at getting a Sky God, you might want to just get a Sky God. These honestly feel slightly different, similar depth. I felt like the Sky God had like a micro bead, but I could be going absolutely crazy. The S-Line P2 is significantly, it's more stable than the Color Glow one, but this one definitely gives off Sky God vibes because the plastic feels Sky God-y, I guess. Really solid disc, just absolutely not for me. Watch this video because it's awesome. And I think you'll like it if you have time. Otherwise, go to bed if it's like 2 a.m. I need people to say that at the end of videos for me at 2 a.m. because I'm up watching videos way too late. That's all I have to say. I'll see you guys tomorrow.